Hey guys, Frisbee here, and today we're bringing you another editor tutorial. But first of all, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things actually, or mainly one thing. Australian Fun, as a channel, now have our own Wasteland server on Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead. It'll be up shortly. We're just doing a few more things to it. First of all, we're doing player saves and base saves upon restarts, all that cool stuff. So look forward to that, and keep your eyes on the channel, and keep your eyes also on the server list, because we'll have it shortly up for Australian servers mainly. But other countries can also join if we really want to. Probably a high ping, but we got a good server provider, so we should be good with that. Alright, cool. Okay, so now starting with our tutorial, we're going to be going more over units advanced, groups advanced, and just a beginner's version for triggers. So, as stated in the last one, we're going to start on units. So, as you can see, we got a red circle around our rifleman here. I think that's familiar to you. That is our player. We got a purple circle, a pink circle around our other rifleman. That is playable. I will get to that in a sec. And we also got a no circle, which I'm guessing is familiar to you guys. That's non-playable, so basically AI. So I'm going to explain playable to you a bit more. In playable, as a playable rifleman or as a playable anything, as long as it's an object or unit, they basically are more for multiplayer purposes, not more slightly more single player kind of purposes, but we're going to focus more on multiplayer. So I'm going to load up a multiplayer game and I'll give it a sec. Okay guys, so I've loaded up a multiplayer mission. This one is called Operation Free Eagle. It's a hostage mission that me and Drop Bear and everyone else plays. I think you've seen it on YouTube actually. It's under the video name Saving Private Braveheart, and obviously I was the Private Braveheart in that situation. That was quite a successful mission. Anyway, so this is a hostage mission. Blue 4 have to come invade the base and rescue the hostages that are under control of terrorist or Op 4. So as you can see, all of the players that are playable have a pink or purple, whatever you want to call it, circle around them. This shows that they are playable. As you can see, it says no player selected. That's okay, as long as I'm saving the mission with no player selected or no player in it. So I can go to the Blue 4 side. You can have a look. So as you can see, I've got this is a very basic mission as well. I got a revamp one, a lot of scripts on it, a lot of modules and all that. Will probably confuse, even me will probably confuse when I'm trying to explain this. So as you can see, all got purple circles over them. All means they're playable, which means they're on the spawn menu or on the player select menu when you normally go on when you go on online servers on Arma. It'll come up with that, and I'll show you that in a sec. Okay, so as you can see, I'm loading up our multiplayer mission, Operation Free Eagle. I got a couple more, as you can see. There's a couple of fun ones on here. I got other maps as well that you can play on. We're just going to load up the one that I showed you before. Hang on 1 second, it's going to load up. Okay, there we go. So as you can see, we've got our player screen. We've got our 4 terrorists that are put on. We've got our civilians, which are the prisoners, and our Blue 4 guys, which were at the other side. This is what playable characters are. If you have a player in there, it'll also be playable, but it kind of, I think it causes bugs sometimes. I'm not too sure. I'll leave that up to you to look into. So, as you can see, all the playable characters are in, and that is how we work on playable characters. They're more for multiplayer purposes, but you can do them on single player missions. I'll show you how you can do that in a sec. Okay, so I've made a really quick single player game, which I'll just whacked up then. So as you can see, we've got our player, who's I've put in the palace, firing squad of riflemen, enemy riflemen, and a playable character on the other side, out of the way of combat's way. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this guy killed, and we're going to see if this guy now could be used after the player. So let's give it a try. Okay, so as you can see, we've got our rifleman that I spawned in. Now we're just going to send him to his death. This might be pretty loud. Oh jeez. Okay, so as you can see, I just got my guy killed, and now showing the screen of the enemy guy that killed me. Now, if I click, instead of clicking restart or end, we're going to click team switch. This is not going to swap our team over to the enemy rifleman. This is going to swap our team over to, or our player over to the next playable character. If I have multiple playable characters, we'll show all of them over here. But because we only got one, we're just going to click him. So switch, and now we're onto him, right where I spawned him. He may have moved a little bit from the gunfire, but he's still in the area that we put him in. Okay, so I'll see you guys back at the editor mode. So now that I've showed you multiple players you can have as playable characters, I'm now going to show you one more thing to do with units, and we'll move on to groups and then triggers. So, as I've said in the last episode, first thing you should do is chuck down a player, which we have done, and after that you can spawn things such as empty, and it doesn't give you that option, or I don't think it gives you game logic either, but it doesn't give you that option until you click player. Now, empty don't have any control because they're not units; they're more objects. So these empty units contain no people in them. There's no playable things. Ignore these Fallujah things; they're just an add-on I have on. So this is everything else that you'll see in your empty slot. You can get all vehicles in the game as far as your expansion goes to. So we have all helicopters, and the planes. We have ammo boxes you can put down. A lot of ammo boxes. I'm sure you guys could get real creative with that. Tanks, backpacks, cars. My favorite one is objects fortifications. This can give the ability to make a base. You've got H barriers, or HESCO barriers they're called. These are massively helpful. They can make a whole base. I'll show you what they. I'll get a large one. I'll show you what they look like. So you can make a really quick wall with them. I'll show you in a sec. So we're going to copy it and paste, and we'll just spread those out. Make sure with the walls, if you're going to make a wall, you connect them a bit because they can split off at times. So we're just making a quick wall, and we're going to preview that wall. Okay, so here's the wall we made. It's actually very basic, but I know you guys can probably get even more creative than me with this. Okay, so that's pretty much spawning empty things. So before we move on, I just wanted to show you guys quick things you can do with base building abilities, which is spawning empty things. So I made a mission a long time ago. I think it's probably been about 1.5 years now. I called it Project Beta, just mucking around when I was real new to editing and I was getting the hang of stuff. I made myself a quick little base. I've made much bigger stuff than this now with multiplayer missions, but this is pretty much how I started off. So as you can see, I got all walls and everything. This mission was basically supposed to be, you start off with a couple of ammo boxes, a little base and a Ural, and then from there you move on to each town and take out enemies and take their stuff and expand your armory a bit more. You move on to the next town, so on and so forth. So I'll show you guys the base really quickly just to show you how cool it can look. So I'll see you guys there. So really quickly, this is just the base that I made a while back. As you can see, I made a little bunker, Ural, MG nest, some ammo crates, and I just hooked up a couple more things like a bunker, like a tower bunker. Hooked up the walls with the barracks, and just made a bit of a base here and a hospital. So this is just really quickly just showing you the kind of stuff you can make. I mean, this is very basic, and I'm sure you guys can probably make better. In fact, if you can make better, or even if you can make basic stuff, I like to see it. If you want to send it to us, just add us on Skype. When you talk to us through YouTube, you can add us on Skype and show us there. So we'll move on to the next part. So as we saw last episode, to put down anything, you need to put down a player. So we're going to do that again. Just chuck. Oh, whoops! Just chuck down a player. I don't know how that popped up. And then we'll just go as a grenadier for no reason. Okay, so make sure you always put down your player. Now we're going to chuck down groups because we're going to start working on groups now. So we're going to double click here for groups. As you can see, we got a couple of things we need to look at. First of all, we got our side. Civilians, pretty much just groups of people and not armed people, so don't look at it that way. We'll just go up blue 4 for now. Now, rifle squad contains, in blue 4 you got side, and then you got faction, and we got all these armies that are on the blue 4 sides. They'll all cooperate together. We'll go Germany. You got the type. We'll go USMC to give you more types. So we got the type, and we got infantry, motorized infantry, which is like cars and people walking and driving. Mechanized infantry, I'm not too sure what that is. I guess you guys have to find out. Arma, which is tanks, tank platoons, and air, which is pretty much just helicopters and all that other stuff. So let's get infantry for now. You guys can have a look at all these yourselves. I'm sure you'll find interesting things about them. Rifle squads contain a fair bit of people, say along with Op4 and Independent, they all do. So we'll spawn them out here. We'll just put Chuck on there for now. So as you know, when they're in a group, they're going to all spawn in formation. There's a way to change that, and I'll show you that now. So if we'll make another group, a smaller one. It's easier to work on. Actually, we'll just keep it like this. So we got this guy leading these guys. So they're going to spawn in formation. Now there's a way to not do that. So let's just say move this guy, move this guy over here, this guy over here, and this guy over here. They're going to spawn in a formation apart from that. So we'll just have a quick look. So as you can see, they've all spawned together right over here. They haven't spawned out over there and there where I showed you before. They spawned together. Now there is a way to change this so that they can spawn in a group because you still want them in a group so they work together, and to make them out of formation. We got right over here special. If we click over here, none, and as you can see, you got in cargo, flying, in formation. In formation is if you want them to spawn in formation, obviously. Flying is for air vehicles such as helicopters and planes. If you want to spawn them flying up in the air, then you click that. In cargo, I'm not too sure about, but none is what we click on. And unfortunately, you got to do that for all of them. So we go OK. Just do it really quick. So you got to do it for all of them, so none of them spawn in formation. Otherwise, they'll all do it together. Otherwise, one of them will be in formation, the others won't. Let's see. Okay, we'll check this out. So now that we got them, they'll obviously run to their formation, but they spawned out of formation. So if you want to make a multiplayer game where you have all the guys in one team or in a group, but you don't want them spawning in formation like they did before, now they've all run to their formation, then you just got to make sure that they're out of the formation special, and make sure they're on none, and that will spawn them out of a group. It's spawn them in a group, but out of formation and where you want them to. So you can put on modules like the first aid module and all that, which will be explained in other episodes. So we'll see you back on the editor page. Okay, so I've deleted those guys that we had just then. Now let's just say we want to chuck down a group of Blue 4 in a fire team, which is a smaller form of a rifle squad. And let's just say hypothetically we were just one of these units. We didn't want them to spawn in a group. A way to do that, which I've shown you guys roughly before, is if you want to make sure that they're not in a group and they're all individual units, you've got to click on groups, or click F2 of course, and what you have to do is hold down the mouse on any of the group members and drag onto the floor. They'll get rid of their position in the group. You have to do that with each group member. That will then spawn them away, not in a group, and will make them cooperate only with themselves and not with each other. But if you want to put them in a group, you have to make sure that each one is dragged into the group leader. Make sure it's not the other way around, otherwise then he'll be commanded by him. Make sure they're spawned into the group leader, and that will put them back in a group. And then from there you can just decide if you want to put them in formation or not. That's completely up to you. Okay, because we have a fair bit of time, and we've covered a fair bit of time, I'll quickly go over triggers with you guys. Really basically, and we'll work on triggers a bit more in the next episode. But I'll work on triggers with you guys for a little bit now. So we click on triggers, or F3. We're going to double click right over here. So the first thing I want you to look at, I want you to ignore angle. I want you to ignore these things over here. I want you to ignore text. And I want you to ignore these things over here. Everything else we're going to work on. So first of all, we've got our axis. Axis 50 for A and B is pretty much saying 50 meters wide and 50 meters tall. And that could be in the shape of an ellipse or a rectangle. We're going to go with ellipse, or a circle, if you will. Now this is say 50 meters. We're going to say 10 meters. So make sure it's 10 on each side. So it's pretty much a perfect circle for 10 meters. And we're going to make the activation. So whatever walks into this circle, let's just say it's Blue 4. If Blue 4 walk into the circle, then the trigger, or whatever we play, or whatever we put in this trigger, will be activated. So let's just say we'll go on effects, and we'll play. We'll just play a track. We'll go Harvest Red. So click OK. Now that should play the track that we selected when Blue 4 walks into that circle, or into that trigger, because it's trigger set to blue 4. So let's give it a go. Okay, so as you can see, obviously you can't see this circle, but if we walk into the vicinity of where we selected it, you'll hear the music to start playing. That we just activated a trigger, and it can only be detected by blue 4, and it cannot be detected by op4 or other independent players. Only blue 4 can trigger this song. So yep, I don't know if you could hear the song properly, but that was it. So if we want, there's other things we could do with triggers. I'll go over one more thing with you. So let's just cancel no music. Okay, there's one more thing I'll show you guys. So if we go on activation or on act, whatever you want to call it, we can make hints. All you have to do is type in hint and then space, talking marks, and we can type in a hint now. So whatever you want it to say on this area of the screen, it will say. So as a hint, and it will pop up with a bit of a noise. Let's just say hint, test, whatever. Finish off with another exclamation mark and a semicolon with a comma at the bottom. I'm not too sure what you call that. I'm not too good at English. Okay, so let's test that out. Preview. Alright, so walk forward. There you go. You got test at the top, which is our hint. That should stay for a couple of seconds. Alright, cool. So that's I reckon that's all we'll go with, as far as we'll go today with triggers, because we have used a fair bit of your time, and I'm sure you guys have other stuff that you want to do as well, especially working on your missions. So I'll finish this off by saying also make sure you check out our server when it's up. It's called Stray and Fun, one word. We're going to have a fair bit of people on, and we gladly appreciate if you guys even jumped on as well. Spread the word to your friends, family, even your grandmother if she plays Arma, anything else. Also, if you do jump on, you'll most likely be in one of our videos. So as always, like and subscribe, blah blah blah. We love you guys because you watch our videos, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.